What is going on, everybody? It is episode 815 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. As you already know, it's Thrashing Thursday, so we have Phil joining us.
Thrashing Thursday. Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Are you trying to set a record for how fast you can do your intro?
No, just blast through it. Just get it done.
It's impressive.
A future career as an auctioneer.
Either that or selling micro machines.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good. I wish I could talk as fast as like an auctioneer or Ben Shapiro. Tim
Honestly,
sometimes.
I feel like people say Ben Shapiro talks so fast. I actually pay attention to how fast he's talking. It's not that fast.
It's not that fast.
Yeah.
So it's like some type of weird collective unknowing. Like everybody thinks they know, but they don't.
It seems like a Mandela effect. Like Ben Shapiro does not talk that fast.
So one day somebody wrote an article where maybe in that one video he talked fast and then it just kind of stuck.
Or maybe like during a debate. I have no idea. But like you actually listen to him do his show. It's not fast. It's very normal pace that you can keep up with. Like
it's weird because I remember I don't know if he covered it on here, but he had some like magazine cover recently.
Oh,
not
he did
cover,
like an
but
interview with the Hollywood Reporter, was it not?
Yeah, and in that thing they talked about his lightning fast delivery.
Yeah, but it's like enough people can say it and then everyone just believes it.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk that
There's
fast.
a lot of that going around.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was wrong then. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry, Ben.
I'm not trying to call you out. It's
Okay.
fine.
Guys, we have a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, liking the videos is one of the best ways you can help this channel grow. Liking the video tells the algorithm that you like this content, helps us show up in the recommended feed, so go ahead and do that. Trust me, don't wait to see how good the show is. You know the show is going to be fantastic, so like the video. And again, if you have not subscribed here yet, remember to subscribe to the channel and share the videos out with your friends and your family and your loved ones. Everybody that you share it with, it is the best way to help this channel grow. In addition, is to share the content out. There's a 20 right there.
Oh, from Weary Traveler. I don't see it here, though.
Okay, I'll read it. Weary Traveler says, PCC should break off from the Timcast network and be its own show. Tim is a Mossad asset and proved that by meeting with Netanyahu and tried to stop Ian from talking about the USS Liberty. Plus, he's, yeah, okay. What was that, Phil?
I can't believe that someone brought that to this particular.
Okay.
Like, this is so unrelated. It's so unrelated.
But, like, I don't really understand the intent behind the super chat because you're actually giving Tim money.
Yeah.
Straight to Netanyahu.
If you believe that Tim is a Mossad asset, you just gave him money.
From your bank account right to Israel.
Okay.
Like...
In fact, not to Israel, straight into the magazine of an IDF soldier that is shooting at the Gazan children.
The math ain't mathing on that one.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thanks
though.
anyway.
I appreciate that.
Was that satire? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know. Guys, we have a bunch of stuff to get into today. So first things first, Justin Bieber is crashing out. Though I would rate it on a scale of 4 to 10 as crash outs go, of 1 to 10, I'd rate it a 4. Okay. But he's crashing out over an incident with the paparazzi, but it kind of ties in to the renewed interest in Britney Spears, who is once again posting her Instagram videos. I had thoughts on it yesterday, but it just goes to ask the question, you know, what role do we, the public, have in helping celebrities when they're seemingly falling their farthest? I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, but there's more to talk about with Justin Bieber, so we'll get into that. Also, Jojo Siwa has beef with Mickey Rourke.
Because that's the timeline we live in. Like, Mickey Rourke and Jojo Siwa should have never even crossed paths, let alone had beef, but now they do.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Mickey Rourke called her a homophobic slur and got in trouble.
We're going to talk about it. He apologized.
A British cigarette.
Yes, so we're going to talk about that. Also, there was this video from like last week where this woman gets an $11,000 nose job and then promptly divorces her husband.
You know what? Is that like remarkable? What's the average price of a nose job?
I don't know.
Let me see.
This one definitely, like, I thought this one sounded kind of weird. It definitely doesn't pass the sniff test.
Okay, it says the average price of a rhinoplasty in the United States ranges from $5,000 to $7,000. So they just looked at her pre-op photo and they were like, "Oh no, this is a construction job."
You know, that's nothing compared to good dental work.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
True.
$11,000. I mean, the point here is like nobody was criticizing her getting the nose job. They were criticizing her divorcing her husband after getting the nose job. So
right.
we're gonna talk about it. There's another 20 there.
Another from Weary Traveler?
Yeah, from Weary Traveler.
The goal is to bring attention to the issue when your streets are overrun with migrants and you have to speak 3 languages you will know.
Our streets are already overrun. Checkmate.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I feel like I'm going crazy.
I can translate. Idiot.
What does the migrant crisis have to do with Tim being a
It's
Mossad
the Jews
agent?
that are doing it.
This is
That's
like that
what
guy.
it is. It's the Jews.
This is like the guy yesterday who was saying that I like to punish people because I never got arrested, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
No, what was that? I don't even remember.
Something about felony, like Class A felonies or Class C
That you're
felonies.
a criminal. Oh yeah, and then someone else actually yesterday accused me of having an affair with you.
Okay. So
there are just a lot of ideas flying around.
You cannot help the chat sometimes, ladies
No.
and gentlemen. Weary Traveler, thank you so much for joining us today. We do appreciate your patronage.
You should do one more, Weary
Just
Traveler.
actually,
Get us
can you
over
just send
halfway
us
there
more
to
money?
Halfway to the
Crisis Party.
There you go.
We're
That's
getting
what
there, guys. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we'll just get started. Mary, are you ready?
Let's go.
Phil, are you ready?
Next week, I'm bringing a net and a yoo-hoo.
Perfect. Okay.
What? What does that even mean?
It's what Kanye brought when he was on
InfoWars.
InfoWars when he wore the Balenciaga full
He brought
face.
a net?
He brought a net and a bottle
And the
of
chocolate
yoo-hoo.
milk thing?
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Let's get started.
Yeah, after multiple decades of a feud between Madonna and Elton John, it looks like they have finally buried the hatchet, but I, myself, was not aware that they were beefing in the first place. Madonna, she hatched a plan to confront Elton John after all these years and finally settle this and ask for an apology. And this was during his recent appearance on SNL. She decided to show up in the audience and meet him backstage, catch him outside or something.
Yeah.
This is like geriatric beef.
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels like an exercise in narcissism to imagine that it matters that long, that far down the road.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's old and you're old. Just kind of
Let it
go on with your lives.
You have bigger problems to worry about. But Madonna posted on Instagram this photo of her embracing Elton John, captioned, "We finally buried the hatchet. I went to see Elton John perform on SNL this weekend. I remembered when I was in high school, I snuck out of the house one night to see Elton perform live in Detroit. It was an unforgettable performance that helped me understand the transformative power of music. Seeing him perform when I was in high school changed the course of my life. I'd always felt like an outsider growing up, and watching him on stage helped me understand that it was okay to be different, to stand out, to take the road less traveled by. It was essential."
She was wrong. It's not okay to be different.
None of those things are okay. Over the decades, it hurt me to know that someone I admired so much shared his dislike of me publicly as an artist. I didn't understand it. I was told Elton John was the musical guest on SNL, and I decided to go. I needed to go backstage and confront him. When I met him, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Forgive me," and the wall between us fell down.
Aww.
Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Within minutes, we were hugging. Then he told me he had written a song for me and he wanted to collaborate. It was like everything came full circle. And you can tell everybody, this is your song.
Sweet?
It'd be funny if he makes like a diss track about her.
It's just a diss track. It's just Gucci flip-flops. Yeah. So I don't understand why
Beef should not be. There should be time stamp. Like there should be like limits on beef.
Right. It should have a statute of limitations.
Especially pointless beef.
And this got me thinking, which is remarkable because rarely does that happen. I was just like, why would Elton John even dislike Madonna or talk shit about her anyway?
Why would he care?
And according to one person on Twitter, Elton had a lifelong jealousy of Madonna because she's skinny, talented, more successful, and culturally relevant.
Whoa!
He threw rocks at her entire career like a bitter queen because she outserved him at every turn.
Is she considered more successful than him?
These days?
I feel like they're on like the exact. I actually feel like they're on like the exact same plane of existence.
They're in the biopic asylum.
Yeah, like
People who are have biopics made about them.
yeah. But the thing is like people actually want to make one about him. She has to make the one about her.
Yeah. She's forcing it.
Like I can't think of them as like different levels of fame. They seem like the exact same level.
Well,
of
she
fame to me.
loved having the opportunity to say that she was in high school while Elton John was already famous. Like, look, I'm so much younger than him. But
It's the only time she's gonna be able to do that.
I went back into
Everybody
the
else
timeline.
she could do that about is dead.
I went and found the timeline of their feud.
Oh, really?
It started back in 2002.
2002.
And this was back when
They
Madonna.
were both old enough to know better.
Yes.
I do think that
Yes.
that he is wrong. I believe you said that he insulted her James Bond theme.
This is what he said. This was back when Die Another Day came out, and Madonna made a kind of techno song for the movie.
I love that song. I don't care Elton John is wrong.
This
He's
was an
objectively
interview.
wrong about this.
He said, it's the worst Bond theme ever. It hasn't got a tune. They should have gone for somebody like Lulu or Shirley Bassey, and maybe I'm in that league. I don't think it's the best Madonna record, and I'm a big fan. So even when he said that it was the worst Bond theme, he still couched
Complimented
it
her.
and complimented her. But then it heated up in 2004 at the 2004 Q Awards. Part of his speech when he was accepting the Classic Songwriter Award was throwing shade at Madonna, who was nominated for Best Live Act. And he thought that was laughable that she was nominated for Best Live Act because he believed she was lip syncing.
Okay.
He said, Madonna, Best Live Act, F off. Since when has lip syncing been live? Anyone who lip syncs in public on stage when you pay £75 to see them should be shot. Thank you very much. He literally called for Madonna to be shot.
Not good.
Under the suspicion that she was lip syncing
Look,
her songs.
The gays are
Catty.
hyperbolic.
They're catty.
They are cat. That's true. They are catty.
They're always starting something. But as a musician, what is your take on lip syncing? Do you think it's so fraudulent that people should be called out for it?
So if you're lip syncing, right, you're not singing, that's poor form. I don't have a problem with backing tracks. Like, I don't have a problem if, like, you've got, like, if there's, like, harmonies and there's...
Well, isn't that used a lot for like for people that dance a lot when they're on stage too, because it gives them like, allows
and
for
to
them
be honest
catch
with you,
breath.
Gen Z and millennials, they're not the people that are upset about that. That's very normal. I don't have a problem with playing to, like, we play to a click track. So our drummer's got the tempo, and then there's all kinds of tracks that are in there. So there's all kinds of programming, and there's a bunch of different stuff. So I think that's perfectly fine, just so long as the people that are on stage are doing their thing, right? So, like, I'm singing everything. I'm doing all the singing, all the screaming. There are backing tracks on like sometimes there's thicker guitars, sometimes there's other noises, sometimes there's harmonies and stuff like that. But just so long as everyone on stage is doing their thing as well, then to me it's fine. But if you look, man, as soon as Guns N' Roses could afford it, they brought out extra musicians. Like, there was only 5 people in Guns N' Roses, right? But when they did Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, when they had the money, they brought out backup singers, they brought out, other instruments, they brought out way more than just the 5 guys in the band. The band turned into a boatload of people. Computers and stuff like that make that kind of production quality that make that possible for small artists and for anybody, basically. And the goal is to entertain the people that spent money on a ticket. Again, you should be performing. You should be able to do your stuff. You have to be singing up there. But, like, if it's just like, well, we want it to sound better for the fans, I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
But if you're fully pretending to sing,
That's bad news.
That's something you should get called out for,
Yes.
in your opinion?
Yeah.
Because some people would say that for pop stars especially, the dancing and the showmanship and the production quality of it all is sort of equally important, if not more important, than the live vocals aspect. Especially for someone like Taylor Swift, who is not known for her vocals primarily. She's known for her songwriting, her tour concept, and
she still gets up there.
The storytelling.
She still gets up there and plays guitar. She gets up there and
Yeah.
plays piano. Like, and I'm buying that she sings, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe there are some backing tracks or whatever, but it still sounds like she's singing. It's not exactly like what's on the record. So there's some embellishments and stuff. So I don't have a problem with, like, at least the way that Taylor Swift performs it. You know, so.
Okay. Well, following the lip syncing allegations, it kind of got worse at the 2012 Golden Globes when both Madonna and Elton John were nominated for Best Original Song. Madonna won over Elton John that year. And then later that year, Elton John declared Madonna's career over in an interview and accused her of mean girl behavior toward his friend Lady Gaga, who is also the godmother of his children. He said about Madonna at the time, "She's such a nightmare and she looks like an effing fairground stripper." A fairground stripper. Only a gay man could come up with an insult like that.
I don't actually know what a fairground stripper is.
Do they have strippers at fairs?
That feels like antithetical to the fairground experience where you're supposed to bring kids.
I'm sure that he could have said lunchtime stripper, but fairground.
Lunchtime stripper would make more sense. Fairground stripper sounds like a call to CPS.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he revisited their beef in his memoir back in 2019, saying, "I couldn't see why she was so ungracious and nasty. She claims to be a champion for women. It's just wrong. An established artist shouldn't kick down a younger artist at the start of their career." And then Madonna responded saying that she apologized for her treatment of Lady Gaga. But it goes even further than that, and now they've finally made amends, and they deserve each other because they're equally petty.
They can make a song together.
Narcissistic
You know what they should do?
people.
They should remake like a ballad version of Die Another Day
Together, duet.
together. It
Yeah.
wouldn't make any sense, but they should do it anyway.
It's funny because in the 90s, before their beef started, they were doing things like that. They were taking pictures together, doing duets, performances together.
I will say that Die Another Day isn't as good as many of the other James Bond themes, but I don't hate it as much as Elton John seemed to hate it.
Yeah.
Very of its time.
Yeah, I his most recent hit was that like thing that he did with Dua Lipa, right?
I have no idea. Sounds about right. But I'm literally trying to think of like how I could classify one of them as above the other, but they feel like they're on the exact same plane of existence when it comes to fame.
And by the way, Dua Lipa is like totally a fake pop star. It seems like her whole career is a psyop.
Why?
She's pretty. That's it.
Plenty of people are pretty and they don't make it big.
I mean, there's not always a rhyme or reason.
Feels like just fake. I don't know.
Do you
There's
feel
something
the
about
same-
it.
Do you feel the same way about Doja Cat?
No, because Doja Cat actually has
Not pretty.
originality. Like she actually has
Doja's funny too.
a brand. And Dua Lipa just to me seems like a blank slate. Like she could be whatever record label wants her to be.
I feel like you answered your own question. That explains why she's who she is and why she's famous.
Well, then they haven't done a good job enough of giving her a unique brand because there's nothing to it.
Well, they were going to give her the Olivia Rodrigo brand, but abortion was taken, so they had to figure out something else.
That was spoken for.
Yeah. All right, let's move on then.
All right.
You asked a question on X the other day.
Yeah, I just got thinking the other day about the era of 2010s feminism, which I call #feminism. And they had a list of pet issues that really aren't talked about as much these days, which included, armpit hair, free bleeding, rape culture.
Wait, I thought that
period blood art.
Kamala's stepdaughter was
What
bringing
else?
armpit hair back.
Well, no, it's not a talking point anymore, okay? This was all third wave feminism. And one of those big pet issues of theirs at the time was catcalling. And it was talked about almost ubiquitously among feminist online circles. And it seemed to me blown out of proportion, massively blown out of proportion. And all of these women were basically saying this is a key component of rape culture, which keeps women too afraid for their lives and their safety to walk around in public, especially at night. A lot of other people retorted that that had more to do with the migrant influx than anything than misogyny or patriarchy, but that's besides the point now. I just wanted to revisit the issue and do a bit of a reflection on it now that the discourse has died down, because I used to be against catcalling, and now I realize I'm not against it anymore. Not in principle. It depends on how you do it, what you say, the setting, the time of day, just all sorts of different factors.
Okay.
So it could be inappropriate or acceptable depending on a lot of different contexts.
So you want to watch this video first?
Yeah, so this was the most famous example from back in 2014. This was a YouTube video that has now amassed 52 million views called 10 Hours of Walking in NYC as a Woman. And the point of it was to demonstrate the widespread nature of street harassment, as they called it.
Okay.
Here was
How you doing today? Wow. That's not good.
Wow.
They're telling her to smile.
Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you. They're beautiful. She said thank you.
Hey, baby.
Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning?
Have a nice evening.
Nice. Hey. Damn.
God bless. Sexy American Eagle. Hello, good morning. God bless you. Have a good day, all right?
This one's bad. He just keeps walking next to her.
Doing good?
Hey, look at that. It's $5,000.
This guy's saying because I'm ugly.
You don't speak? I'll give you my number. You can talk to me? No? Too ugly for you?
What's up, man? How you doing?
She really got her steps in that day. That was impressive. 10 hours straight.
Yes.
No breaks. But at the end, it gives you this PSA. 100 plus instances of verbal street harassment took place within 10 hours involving people of all backgrounds.
Harassment.
This doesn't include the countless winks, whistles, etc. If you want to help, donate to Holla Back, a non-profit dedicated to ending street harassment. Gee, I wonder where people's money went when they ended up donating to that.
Yeah. Chalk.
But that went viral. It was everywhere. And the point being, it was supposed to draw awareness to this social ill. And actually, I think it got woke backlash at the time from people who are already feminists. They were angry at the woman who recorded the video and the guy who directed it because it didn't feature enough white men as perpetrators. Because as you can tell in that video, most of the catcallers are racial minorities.
Yeah.
I don't think there was even one example of a white man in that video. But they just claim, oh, we cut that out. We cut that out of the video.
Where you traveling did another $20.
The first person to promote third wave feminism was in 1992 and was Rebecca Walker, Rebecca Leventhal, and she's Jewish, by the way. Okay. I've never heard of that person, but thanks for the info. But yeah, the director of 10 Hours in NYC had to respond to these allegations of racism at the time and defend himself. They say they would have loved for more white men to be in it.
Of course.
So this guy's name was, well, the girl in the video is named Shoshana Roberts.
Okay.
but this is the director, Rob Bliss. He has been criticized for being racially biased because a majority of the males in the video were not white. He admitted that he edited out a lot of white men from the video, of course.
Did he say why?
He said it didn't end up being the perfect representation of everything that happened. He said the white males were cut from the final edit because the city's noise pollution meant most of the footage was unusable.
So they weren't.
Isn't that convenient?
Outspoken enough or something?
It's convenient, huh? But yeah, they say, I didn't think about how people would take my quote. I guess I was a bit naive. But like I said, we had lots of issues with sirens, but that also happened for everyone else. Wind and rain difficulties don't discriminate against any one race.
Okay.
I wanted this video to be non-controversial and as neutral as I could possibly make it. But that didn't work even for the feminists at the time who would have supported the message. And I just want to find out from both of you, have you ever catcalled a woman?
No.
Phil's not sure.
Maybe.
You're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You just don't know?
I drank a lot for a long time.
So if you did, then it would have been when you were inebriated.
Likely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would probably so I saw your tweet about this the other day, and I was going to reply with, what exactly was the tweet again?
My first conundrum was about whether it's actually effective.
Oh yeah, and my reply to that was, it's pretty effective if you're hollering at someone in line for your show from the bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty effective.
Understandable. Not most situations, but
yeah,
describes yours. Sure.
Yeah.
My question was like, I don't know, do any of the men who catcall have a thought process that like if you just do it enough times it'll eventually get you a number?
I honestly think it's like, look, I think it's the pre-Tinder version of swiping right on every single one.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like swipe right, swipe right, you know.
You're right.
You know, like just if you're throwing the widest net, you know.
Right, but has it ever worked? Like, what is the evolutionary biology?
The meme would literally be like, it finally works. She stops and talks to him, and he's like, "What now?"
Yeah, it's like it's a dog chasing a car, you know. But yeah, that was my first question about it, and then my second question was, do women actually find it creepy, or do they find it flattering, or neither?
That depends on how nice the bus is.
Oh, okay. The bus is an essential part of this equation.
That honestly, that depends on if the woman finds the man attractive or not. Like, if a man hollered at a woman and he looked like Brad Pitt, and the woman saw him and found him attractive, it wouldn't occur to her that it was catcalling.
I see.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, oh my God, this guy's catcalling me. She'd be like, hey. It would be straight to, that guy's attractive. Like, the idea of the whole catcalling dynamic would not happen because she would immediately be like, oh, this isn't offensive. He's not scary. There's none of the negative connotations because I find him attractive.
I see.
Catcalling is only bad. It's like that meme of like the guy leaning over and saying, "Hey, Margaret," and then she's like calling human resources, and then the attractive guy's like, "Hey," it says, "Hey, Margaret," and she's like, it's like that is 100% real. Like women, and it's because of evolution, but like that's true. If women find a guy attractive, like all the normal thing or all the things that would be creepy just don't exist.
I'd like to call attention, though it's off topic, to his reference to Brad Pitt. Remember, to this day, it's 2025, and Brad Pitt and George Clooney are still the examples people give when they want to give you generic, handsome male.
It's funny.
Yep.
Because I never thought Brad Pitt was attractive, but that's just me. I want to read.
I don't know anybody that's like.
The point is like it's still the example they use in a TV show is if it's like, well, he's no George Clooney.
Yeah.
Even though it's 2025, and that's not really the most relevant example.
Isn't George Clooney still attractive though?
I don't know.
He's still he's still a handsome dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Not his prime. These were some responses from women that I got, which said they actually would prefer catcalling, not the new age we live in.
Look,
where
some
men are
of
not
those,
allowed to
some of
catcall.
those ones in that video go past catcalling
Oh
and
yeah,
become
there's guys walking next to her like
intimidation
that.
and
5 minutes of
harassment.
walk-
5 minutes of
Yeah.
walking is
Yeah.
harassment.
Fuck that guy.
That
That's
guy-
why
that-
I was saying it depends on who it is, what they're saying, what they're doing, what time of day it is.
Keep in mind, if she was if it wasn't for a social experiment and she was not attracted, or she was attracted to him, there would not have been 5 minutes of walking awkwardly.
Sure,
it would have
yeah.
been like 5 minutes of walking together, and I met this nice guy, and blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah, yeah.
So
But one person replied to me saying, I miss catcalling. Our mothers decided it was offensive, so now guys can't compliment us without worrying they'll lose their job.
that's 100% true.
I mean, that's kind of a reach.
This-
Are you going to lose your job?
If someone if someone were to approach a woman and the woman did not reciprocate, and it is completely within a reasonable fear to say she finds his social media and puts him on blast, and he could lose his job from it. It's not.
I would love
it's
to see
probably
an
not
example of
likely.
that.
It's probably not likely, but it's a completely reasonable expectation from guys, because guys, remember, people. It doesn't have to actually have happened for people to make the assumption that it will, right? So dudes have definitely lost their jobs for saying things to women outside of work.
Okay.
So
I'm going to need to find the examples of this happening.
Again, I'm not
because
saying-
I hear it so often.
I'm not saying that oh, wait a minute, what are you saying?
I hear people say that scenario happens so often I don't see specific examples.
My point isn't that
But-
that specific scenario needs to happen. My point is it's reasonable for dudes who are already apprehensive to be like, this could happen.
Sure.
It's not worth it's not worth the risk.
I also got a response from Brittany Hugaboom saying, I asked some guys once and they said they just want the girl to know she's being complimented. Colonel Kurtz responded and said, it gets a loud F off from me. Maybe that gives them a hard on. Part of the appeal might be that the women aren't interested, but I can't pretend to understand the male psyche enough to know for sure. But yeah, some were saying they find it creepy and they hate it. Others were saying that it's a compliment. It truly depends on who's saying it. The problem is, well, here's the conundrum. It's mostly non-white men who are doing the catcalling. And every time that a white man has complimented me in public, he just says it in a normal speaking voice and has a conversation with me. Which is probably more successful anyway than catcalling.
Conversations are way less
So-
offensive than, yo, what's up, baby?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, whenever you see these examples in television and movies for the last 20 years, it's done in the most egregiously over-the-top way. Not even in the way like the guy following her around, which I think would be shown in a completely different way. That would be shown as dangerous and threatening, whereas most of the time it just comes off as overly misogynistic and you know, objectifying. Whereas, would you even call the other version of it catcalling? It's almost like catcalling is supposed to carry the negative connotation. And what you're talking about, where somebody compliments you, is not catcalling.
Yeah.
It's simply a compliment followed by a conversation.
There's a tad bit of humble bragging going on, though, because all of these women are like, I get catcalled, like, all the time. Like, I just wish that I weren't so desirable. I just walk around and I can't escape men making advances at me.
It's like
it's hell. It's
Hey,
it's
listen,
a living hell.
Women, if you're having this problem, I have a great solution. Go to Crumble. Go to Crumble Cookie and go every day and eat as much as you can. This will stop.
You will stop getting catcalled.
And you'll enjoy
Trust
the
me.
entire process, because Crumble Cookie is delicious, man.
Actually, knowing that some of the preferences of men out there, you never know, that might actually increase the level of catcalling.
I don't know about increase.
We have a
but
20 from
Change the
OJ for
dynamic.
me. Orange juice is the best juice. This guy's just really passionate about orange juice. Love that for you. So I want to look at the current state of like fear mongering around catcalling. This woman, Sophie Sandberg, runs an organization, or actually two rather. She is the founder of both Chalk Back and Catcalls of NYC. And essentially what they do is they receive submissions from women on Instagram DM about places they were catcalled, what was said, what happened, how they responded. And she says, my team gathers submissions via Instagram, and then we go to those spots with chalk and write out what was said alongside the hashtag Stop Street Harassment. And I, looking at the Instagram, was shocked to find out that this account is still actively posting to this day. Even though this is no longer a trendy issue, she really committed to the bit. So here were some of the examples. If we can read them out loud, I'm not sure. One of them says, a guy at a bar turned to me and said, do you want to F me? Because I would F you so hard. That was one of them. They just quote what was said to them on the street. There were some that were really messed up that I cannot repeat.
Yep.
Another one says, touched, groped on a train and bus several times. Don't feel safe. Another one said, have a drink with me. I said no. He threw the bottle at me.
Whoa.
These are some of the most extreme examples.
That's not acceptable behavior, gentlemen.
Of course not. But that's the thing. That's not catcalling. That's a crime.
Yeah, that's assault. Yeah.
You know, and like some of the things they were saying were threats. You're also not legally allowed to do that.
Correct.
It's just, when I'm saying there's more nuance to it, you can say, hey, beautiful, and it's not the end of the freaking world. Like, you don't need to act like a victim when some rando complimented you. You actually don't even have to respond. Just keep walking, stay strapped, be aware of your surroundings. Probably not a good idea to walk around cities at night.
That's the pragmatic answer, yeah. Like, the issue with feminism when it comes to that topic is the utopian view of it should be, you should be able to do it without worrying about it, versus the realistic worldview, which says that would be great, but that's not the world we live in because evil people will always exist. And then what usually happens is those with the more utopian worldview get upset at the pragmatism of people who say, well, that's not the world we live in, so here's how you can prevent it from happening. And that's a fight that will go on until the end of time.
And similarly, I can sit here and wish that we still lived in a society where men could openly feel comfortable openly approaching women that they're interested in. But me having that pie in the sky idea doesn't do anything to change reality.
Correct.
All right, let's move on.
What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day? You said the cringe is really bad.
It is really bad, so we should start with the cringe.
Okay. We should always.
We always will start with the cringe as long as Phil's here.
All right, here we go.
This one is, it's just chef's kiss. It's a song, by the way, an original song.
It says, this is what it's like to be a woman.
Uh-huh.
Your Instagram time.
My algorithm
Your
is
algorithm
just
must be something.
doing tricks.
I look down at my grocery cart filled with Plan B books and Mace placing bets on which.
It's already off to a bad start. Thank you. I like this song better. You might want to start it over from the top.
We'll restart it.
Okay.
Here we go, gentlemen. And ladies.
Lady. Just lady.
I look down at my grocery cart filled with Plan B books and Mace placing bets on which one I'll use first to keep me safe. You prop your right hand on your heart to swear so solemnly, if it's your word against mine, they'll wipe your record clean. Oh, clean. Now I'm crying at my coffee shop, I break down at the gym, screaming at my windshield all the hurt that I held in. I look down at...
We literally live in The Handmaid's Tale.
Well, there is a new season of The Handmaid's Tale right now.
I don't even know what the hell this is.
She's talking about what it's like to be a woman in Trump's America.
Oh, my God. That's a terrible thing because she sounds good. She's actually got a nice
She's not
voice.
a bad singer.
Well, there's a whole market nowadays for, like, message music and comedy music.
I hate the pronunciation, the over pronunciation she's doing in the staccato thing that she's doing. But good singer.
Let's do cute of the day.
She's sick in the head though.
This one's from Shallow Graves. He says Chewy. It's Chewbarca. is a stubborn freeloader, howls at everything that moves outside, sleeps all night, and then all day as well. It's truly a dog's life.
Good for him.
He's allowed.
Chewbacca. Okay, guys, remember you can submit your pets if you so choose to brag about them. Hashtag PCC Pets on X. Tag me in there as well at Brett Dasovic, and then we will feature them on the show so that you can brag about them.
Yes. It is becoming increasingly evident that Justin Bieber's mental health is on the decline. And rumors of an alleged split between himself and his wife Hailey continue circulating. Most recently, he was spotted outside of what looks like a coffee shop, and he confronted a group of paparazzi because he's Justin Bieber, and paparazzi follow him everywhere. I'm not surprised by that at all. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the paper straw that melted on a camel's back.
Yes.
And he flew off the handle. Now, it's being overstated. He wasn't screaming at anyone or throwing things or being violent. It wasn't a full-on Britney Spears 2007 moment.
Correct.
But he did confront them and gave them a viral moment that they wanted.
It's what they wanted.
It's totally
it's kind
counterintuitive.
of the same thing as like when somebody's like kind of giving you crap online and then you respond angrily, which is exactly what they want.
Yeah, so let's take a look here. He also has an interesting outfit on.
Money, 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 money. Money, get out of here, bro. Money. All you want, don't care about you. All you want is money. Go, get out of here. All you guys want is money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Get out of here, bro. Okay. Get out of here, money. That's all you care about, money? That's all you care about, guys. It's money. You don't care about people. Only money. Only money. No people. You don't care about human beings. Go. Go. Go.
And he makes his way into
Bro,
this coffee shop with his entourage.
He's got like Crocs with lifts on. Like that's impressive.
Yeah, I don't know what he's been going for with his streetwear lately, but the effort is to just look as homeless as possible.
Yeah, what is with that? Like, I mean, why don't people want to look good?
It used to be a thing that they'd make fun of. Remember when jeans with rips became a thing, and everyone's like, "Why would you pay $80 for jeans with holes in them?" And it's just evolved. It's devolved into utter homelessness
Whatever
as a fashion
this is.
trend. Yes.
I mean, maybe he doesn't want to dress well because he feels bad. You know, he wants to dress how he feels on the inside, which is shitty.
What does he feel bad about?
I think there's a number of theories. One is that he's crashing out because Selena Gomez got engaged. That's a lot of Selena Gomez fans are celebrating watching his downfall and accusing him of being on drugs. They're saying that he is actually being an attention seeker while pretending that he doesn't want attention. I think that he probably just had a lapse in judgment there, not realizing that he was giving them all the money that they wanted. Yeah. By giving them this clip.
He's making the value judgment that feeling better about himself for calling them out will be worth it for him, which is, I'm sure making that choice is something he has to think about daily every time he goes out. I don't envy him in that respect, having to, especially if you're not doing well and your life is a mess.
Some people say that he's always hated paparazzi and gotten into confrontations with them. It has nothing to do with Selena, but other people are saying the timing is quite convenient then because Selena has been on the promotional tour for new music alongside her fiance Benny Blanco, and this is already in the wake of rumors going around about Hailey and Justin on the verge of divorce.
Yeah.
But what can no longer be denied is just that Justin Bieber doesn't look well. In this before and after photo, you can see an edited version of current day Justin Bieber.
The far one has definitely been edited. Here is another screenshot where the stuff in the face is far less pronounced. The lines are far less pronounced. It's designed to make it look worse than it is.
Right.
Also, we're looking at over a decade apart. Like, the first photo looks like we're looking at, like, 2012.
Okay. But he is what age now? He's 30.
30.
Correct? 31. He just doesn't look 31.
Yes, he does. In this one, he absolutely just looks 30.
Looks rough.
If you're living rough.
It's a rough 30.
Somebody had an idea of who they think it is. They think it was
Diddy's
it
fault.
was Diddy's fault.
He was having a freak out because of the freak offs.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Yeah, who's to say? And Justin Bieber is adding more fuel to the fire with erratic behavior on social media. He's now posted a screenshot of himself on a FaceTime call with Stevie Wonder. Captioned, "This fool never sees my
I didn't
FaceTimes."
fact check this. This is from Pop Crave. It is from the actual Pop Crave account. There's no picture on Stevie Wonder, so I don't know if that's actually him. It just says Stevie Wonder.
They're saying, why is Justin Bieber acting like Kanye West? Okay, he's got a long way to go before he ends up in Ye territory, but I can see he's on the downslide for sure. And now there are rumors that Justin's wife, Haley, is planning to write a memoir, a book about their marriage, discussing her marriage to Justin, and also discussing her relationship with Selena Gomez, even though they're not friends and don't know each other at all. If true, this would be the third time that Hailey Bieber has publicly spoken about Selena Gomez via any platform. Call Her Daddy being number 1 and The Circuit being number 2. The only way I can make sense of this, if it's true that Hailey Bieber has a book deal, is that she's planning on leaving Justin and putting this book out as some kind of rebrand or explaining the situation.
That's the most depressingly cynical thing ever, too.
And there's more evidence to suggest that because she was recently at a dinner with both Kendall and Kylie Jenner, spotted not wearing her wedding ring.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like unheard of for a married person to go out without their wedding ring on once in a while, I guess. But that is weird, right?
It's pretty, and
if people were talking about you allegedly being on the verge of a divorce and you wanted them to know that that wasn't true, you certainly wouldn't go out not wearing your wedding ring.
I think this happened with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, where like before they got divorced, they were out without their wedding rings, but then people saw them again and they had their wedding rings on.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to F with people or something.
Yeah.
Keep them on their toes. But yeah, she was out at dinner with both of them just days ago, not wearing her ring. So it looks like there might actually be some reason to believe the rumors. And other people believe that Hailey Bieber's on the verge of putting Justin in a conservatorship. And the first thing that pops into your mind, I'm sure, when you hear the word conservatorship is Britney Spears, who also continues on the decline mentally. I can tell, like, her Instagram is just getting worse and worse.
I will never get over how not high quality the videos always are.
It's because, I think it's because she's insecure about her looks and she wants the videos to be low quality so you can't see the details.
It's crazy. Like, it's kind of like,
there she is doing her thing, dancing in her living room like always.
like always.
It's just sad.
Here's Britney.
There she is.
As far as I'm concerned, would this be any different if look, there's whole influencer networks who go out into public and do this stuff. So if she went out and did this in public, would that also be insane? Or then would it
all
just
of
be
them
a
are
TikTok,
insane.
Would it just be a TikTok trend?
They're all insane. There was another video where she talks about her hair, but that's not really the point of me showing this video.
Really want my nails back. I did all my nails. I look like a fucking idiot. I want my nails back, and I guess I should just go get nails and do it. I swear to God, I don't want to. It takes forever.
She's doing
to
this
get nails
British
done.
accent.
And my bangs are pretty. I need
She sounds like Moaning Myrtle in the Harry Potter movies.
She does.
Yeah.
so I can be fancy. Ooh, mamacita, yes.
So she's putting on this fake British accent. She's also doing this tiny little baby voice. And it's a sign of regression, which is a response to trauma. I think I could armchair a little bit and claim that.
Okay.
That's clearly not what she ever sounded like before. And similarly with Britney and Justin, their fans are going to tell you, no, they're perfectly happy and healthy and they're doing just fine. Like, stay out of their business.
I mean,
and it's
that
not
was
true. It's just not true.
I mean, that was literally
You're denying
the-
reality.
That was. I mean, no, that was literally my point.
Ariana
yesterday.
Grande fans also. They'll be like, "Oh no, she's not sick at all. What are you talking about? You're crazy."
I wrote like a bunch about this yesterday, and it was just like, at what point is it our business?
She's
like,
not sick.
Who is?
Just the idea that Ariana Grande
Oh
is not
right.
sick.
Like,
No, yeah, their fan bases are rabid. They will try to gaslight you.
I mean, I'm saying like, whose job is it to fix these people? It's not the public's job to fix
Someone
these
that
people.
knows Ariana
it's,
Grande.
It's somebody.
Not me.
It's
Sure.
their family's job to fix these people. And if you don't have your
Yeah.
family, then it becomes a moral conundrum for everybody else.
I don't think anyone in the audience should feel any moral obligation to help a celebrity, especially because they couldn't if they tried. But I do think that we are entitled to just notice and remark upon what's in front of us, what's
If you
being presented
try,
to us.
You probably get arrested. It's probably called stalking.
Yeah, that's also a crime. So, you
Don't
know,
do crime on the internet.
you don't need to be Captain Save-A-Ho and go to Britney's house and try to get her to rehab. That's not what anyone is expecting of you. But I do think that we are perfectly allowed to comment on what she is publicly putting out there. That's not an invasion of privacy. It's so funny. Britney Spears will post this insane video of herself talking like a British baby prostitute on Instagram. And people will say, "This is really weird. Look at this, guys." And then her fans will say, "You're invading her privacy. Let her be. Leave Britney alone." And it doesn't make sense
No, it
because
doesn't.
she's publicly posting it. If we went in and hacked her Ring camera to listen to her talking to herself in her house, maybe that would be an invasion of privacy. We're just looking at her Instagram posts.
Correct.
There's not much to it. So I'm tired of being gaslit about things like this.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Phil. So y'all's silent clip has officially done better than the short of Seamus hiding my spoons in Lucky Charms." Really, people loved us not talking. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah. It was like the fact that like the highest viewed episode of this channel was the one episode neither of us were on.
Yeah! With Ian Carroll.
Yeah.
Few know about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
If we were less confident in ourselves, we'd have taken it down.
But yeah, I mean, Ian Carroll, thanks for the ad revenue, you know?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Shane H. Wilder said, "Here's some money for Tim. Y'all can take a cut too."
Thank you.
Thanks. Weary Traveler said, "Shabo Skoys." What happened to you? What got into you, Weary Traveler? You're usually so polite, and you don't accuse us of things normally.
Let's do
You
two
just
more.
woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yep.
Someone pissed in your cereal or something.
Yep.
Shane
I
H.
bet it
Wilder
was a
said,
Jew.
"My only issue with Tim is that he doesn't care about the gongo. Come on, Tim, do it for the gongo."
He doesn't
That's
care.
true. He doesn't care about the Gonganese struggle at all.
He doesn't care. It's very sad. In fact, one might even say he thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rude.
it's a laughing matter.
Yep.
Weary Traveler said, "Why did Tim try to stop Ian from talking about the USS Liberty? Face your uncomfortable truths." I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I feel like Tim has stopped Ian from saying so many things over the years. Not just that. It is a funny clip, though.
Yeah. I mean, when did this happen?
I don't even remember. Maybe a couple years ago.
Maybe they'll cover this on Timcast AI.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even. Is that an actual real thing?
I saw the clip.
I saw the clip too, but-
Ian starts talking about the USS Liberty, and I don't know. Tim interjects somehow. I don't remember, but it was funny. I think that Tim has interjected over Ian many times, other than that one time.
All right, let's hold off on the rest, and then
All
we will
right.
come back after the fact.
We live in a world, in a timeline, where not only have Mickey Rourke and Jojo Siwa been in the same room at the same time, but they also have a beef. Like, I guess this is proof that the most entertaining outcome is the likeliest. So they have both been cast on the UK celebrity Big Brother.
I don't know why it feels weird to me that she's on there.
It feels weird to me that either of them are on there because I thought it was supposed to be British celebrities.
Apparently
but
not.
Not anymore. And this is the reason why a show like Big Brother exists, so that you can say, that Mickey Rourke and Jojo Siwa have beef. Like, that's the appeal of watching the show.
Yep.
Just the most random assortment, the most nuclear combination of shocking, offensive, crazy celebrities in the same room together, and magic happens. It's not that hard to understand. And I see the appeal because I love trashy reality TV. But Mickey Rourke has gotten in trouble. He got himself into trouble with ITV because he was using offensive language to Jojo Siwa about her sexual orientation.
He's old, okay? He's old.
She is a lesbian. She identifies as a lesbian, and he decided to push her buttons, and he used a homophobic slur on set, but it's more complicated than you think.
Yes.
Let's get into the details. Mickey Rourke has now received a formal warning after Jojo Siwa accused him of making homophobic comments about her. So this started when 72-year-old Mickey Rourke approached 21-year-old Siwa on set and asked Siwa if she is romantically interested in boys or girls, to which she replied, "Girls, my partner is non-binary." Now that alone I don't understand.
Why do I feel like a producer like goaded him and said like you should ask her about this?
No, they're gonna give him the offensive lines to say and then act like they had no idea that he was gonna say it.
They're gonna be like, oh.
Exactly. This is how reality TV works. But I don't understand how you can say you're a lesbian, but you're in a relationship with someone who's non-binary. So we're supposed to believe that you're in a relationship with someone who is not a woman.
Yeah.
But you're also a lesbian. I can't keep it all straight.
I laugh. I can't help it. It makes me laugh because I'm just picturing like you off there with a clipboard goading him into saying that like you would love because you would love that job. You would love to be a reality TV producer, and
just
you're like
stirring the pot.
And you're like showing Mickey Rourke pictures of her and like you should ask her about this and about this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then Mickey Rourke replied saying, "If I stay longer than 4 days, you won't be gay anymore."
I couldn't believe that was real.
Weirdo! Okay, that's weird. I'm not even saying that it's because of the age difference. It's more so because Jojo Siwa presents herself as a child.
I mean, also, it's just a ridiculously not okay thing to say in current year.
In current year, especially, for sure. And then Jojo Siwa clapped back saying, "I can guarantee I'll still be gay and I'll still be in a very happy relationship."
Which is like a very like mature response. I'm actually kind of, if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit let down that it wasn't more catty.
No, I know, but I was struck by that as well. Like, she is 21 years old and has more of an ability to hold
21?
her own in front of older adults than any other person her age. Like, she has a strong personality. I will give her credit for that. But then Mickey Rourke made a comment he was going to vote the lesbian out real quick, which Jojo Siwa overheard. Oh, coincidence. And then she said, "That's homophobic if that was your reasoning." He also reportedly said, "I need a beep," which refers to a bundle of sticks or a cigarette if you live in the UK, referring to the house's smoking section. So he wasn't saying that about her. But then he gestured toward Jojo Siwa and said, "I'm not talking to you." So technically, he didn't actually do what he's accused of doing.
I mean, it would have been.
He was trying to be offensive.
It
would have
been a big win for her to not have addressed this at all, and it was the network that did it, and she just kind of let it go.
Yeah, I bet it was a mixture of both. Yeah.
Like,
we have a 20 though from Weary Traveler.
Weary Traveler is back.
Thank you for all the money. Goodness. The USIC is, what is that? I don't know what that is now looking at anti-Semitic posts when considering visas. Why would they be doing that if we are not controlled by Jews in Israel? Tim nor any of you will address this. Okay, you could maybe argue that you could possibly argue that that's something to be addressed on IRL and that it would be Tim's job to address that. It is most certainly not mine or Brett's job at this moment to address that.
The fact that you're implying that Pop Culture Crisis is a place to discuss the Jews is why people that don't worry about the Jews think that people that worry about the Jews are totally nuts.
Oh boy. Anyway, Mickey Rourke eventually got a talking to from the network, and he got pulled into a confessional booth where they asked him to apologize. TMZ has the video there. He gets reprimanded.
Mickey, before you entered the Big Brother house, the rules regarding unacceptable language and behavior were explained to you.
Yes, sir.
Mickey, Big Brother thinks your language was offensive and unacceptable.
All right. I can understand that.
As a result, Big Brother is giving you a formal warning.
Right. I apologize. I don't have dishonorable intention. I'm just talking smack, you know? Boy, did I get chewed out.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got in trouble?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's not what you say, it's how it lands. Yeah.
I didn't say out of meanness.
I understand it. You might have thought it would be uninsulting, but it's the way it's perceived on other people. So, Jojo was very upset earlier, bless her, but
You were? Sorry.
but she's still upset.
Is she really upset?
She didn't seem like it in the moment.
No, she seemed very, very calm and put together.
Yeah, so he was forced to apologize, and then the network gave a statement. All housemates receive respect and inclusion training. They go through, like, DEI training before going on Big Brother.
Well, I mean, it is the UK, right?
This is wild. An extensive briefing from the team to prepare them for living in the house and set out Big Brother's expectation for appropriate behavior and language. Housemates are monitored 24 hours a day, and instances of inappropriate behavior are dealt with appropriately and timely.
I can't believe that Big Brother is still on the air all these years later.
But, I mean, you can easily see why people still watch it, because it's, I mean, I would watch this.
Yeah.
I love shit like this. This is my favorite. And I also wanted to show Jojo Siwa's recent red carpet interview addressing why she was charging her fans exorbitant prices for a quote-unquote VIP experience. People
We also read about some VIP tickets that are priced around $900. Now you got to explain this for the people one time.
I would love to actually explain this for the people. We figured out how to do an experience that hasn't been done, that often before. So pretty much we created the Dream Guest VIP experience, and what this is you actually can come to the venue while we're setting up the show, and you can watch the process, you can be involved if you want, you can help out, but what you're really going to get to do is help me pick the set for the night. So there's going to be a part of the show that you're actually going to get to control as the Dream Guest VIPs every single night. You're going to get to choose what I do. It's going to be really special. But then also in this VIP package, you get a piece of memorabilia from that show. So something that I wear on stage. You get an exclusive backstage tour with me. I kind of explain it like you're my that city bestie for the day. Like, it's just like you're gonna be hanging out. It's gonna be fun. Like, we'll probably order some pizza if you want some pizza. It's just gonna be a ball. And then of course you'll get to watch sound check. We'll do the normal Q&A. We'll do meet and greet. But it's gonna be really special. I'm really, really excited for that. And it's super limited as well. We're only doing 4 Dream Guest VIPs in every city. So it's not some sort of let me get 50 of these and try to get a big buck off of this. It's like, no, I wanted to create a super exclusive, super intimate, die-hard fan experience that only the biggest of the biggest super fans would want to have. And I don't know, I'm really excited. We're coming up with lots of ways to make this Dream Guest experience really special.
I mean, I guess it's better than the $12,000 from Gene Simmons.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Much cheaper.
Better deal.
Don't have to actually set up equipment if you don't want to.
But does Jojo Siwa have diehard fans?
I'm sure.
In every city.
I'm sure.
In every city. I kind of got distracted from what she was saying because of all of these bright colors and all the lights and her insanely painful sounding voice.
Yes.
How does she sound like she's been chain smoking for
The
50
voice
years?
always sounds like one day her voice is going to be going.
She's like 12. And
then you're not going to be able to tell that her voice is going because she has a naturally raspy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I remembered that years back we did talk about Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And he has a habit of talking smack.
Yeah.
And starting beef that he can't finish. This was 3 years ago, back when Top Gun Maverick was out.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke decided to claim that Tom Cruise is irrelevant as an actor.
Which is funny because it's coming out now. Like the next Mission Impossible is coming out like next month or something like that.
It's going to be a gigantic movie too. I assume.
I mean, I sadly I don't think it's going to make money. I think the ridiculous budget on it means that it's not going to make the money that it needs to. But yeah, he stays in the news.
He said the guy's been doing the same effing part for 35 years. I've got no respect for that. I don't care about money and power. I care about when I watch Al Pacino work and Christopher Walken and De Niro's early work. That's the kind of actor I want to be like. And a lot of guys that tried to stretch as actors, I think Tom Cruise is irrelevant in my world.
Mickey Rourke said this about Tom Cruise.
Okay, look, I get not like wanting to do what Tom Cruise does. But why would you have a negative opinion of Tom Cruise because he does what you don't want to do? There are a boatload of musicians and bands that like I don't want to do what they do, but I'm in no way hostile to them at all. Yeah. It's perfectly fine to be like, no, I don't want to do that, and I don't like what they do. I don't get I don't understand why you would want to be, or why someone would be hostile to someone that just does something different than what you would want to do.
Just jealousy.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all it really is. Sometimes your mom is right when she says that they're just jealous.
Not always, but sometimes.
Not always, but sometimes she's right.
Correct.
I just don't understand. Like, look, it's fine if you want to do something else. You think of yourself as a more pure artist or whatever. Fine, okay, but like, why would you not? Why would you have a personal animus towards someone else because you want different things?
There's a lot of that in music, especially.
I'm in music and I don't get it.
There you go. All right.
Okay. Jesse Saxon said, only called groups, but gals have catcalled me more. Girls catcall? This is news to me.
Doesn't sound real.
I've never seen or personally done that, but maybe we need to turn the tables on the men and see how they like it. Just kidding. Shane H. Wilder said, can we just talk about pop culture and shit? BCC is supposed to be my bread and circus. Yeah, no, we have to talk about the USS Liberty. Yeah. And
I mean, I did say yesterday that I would have liked to seen that movie about the Titanic conspiracy and how J.P. Morgan sunk the Titanic so that he could create the Federal Reserve.
Weary Traveler wants us to talk about what was that guy's name? Mahmoud
Khalil.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude.
No, we're not talking about him. That's the thing. That's the thing about this show, that we don't talk about that.
Yeah, like this is not the venue.
Greg Duvier said, what made you decide not to play guitar and sing at the same time?
The fact that it's hard. And
Fair.
I wanted someone that could really play very well, and I also wanted to get the band off the ground faster than fast.
Yeah.
I also when I started playing, once I did like the whole like frontman thing in Shadows Fall, I kind of was like, this is kind of what I want to do. Not that I don't like playing guitar. I mean, even now I still play guitar, and I gotta set up in my, the apartment, and I gotta set up at home and stuff. And we have a studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you could do it.
He says yes.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I can't hear over this.
Like, you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I could. It's just a matter of I'd have to
easily.
sit down and put the time into it, and yeah.
Brian Bledsoe said Tim and Ben have the same cadence to me. I also disagree with that. I don't hear it.
Tempo-wise?
I guess.
I mean, Tim doesn't speak slowly.
Yeah. I don't know. Serenco Productions said, almost like being filmed makes you a target.
Oh, I guess they're talking about the catcalling video, because the guy's following in front of her, filming her.
Oh, well, it was probably a camera attached to a guy's backpack.
I doubt that.
It
was pretty centered and pretty steady.
Well, wouldn't she be responsible for staying directly behind him on the street?
No, that's going to fall on the filmer to make sure that the shot is right.
I don't know.
I'm guessing that it was no, if it was on a backpack, it would have been jumping more. It wouldn't have been so stable.
I guess, yeah. Serenco Productions said, or no, JJ said, gynocentric society and workplace HR are the blame.
I mean, yeah, but
again, that was a nuanced enough.
The longhouse.
That was a nuanced enough discussion where it's like plenty of the stuff in that catcalling video was just not acceptable.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, yeah,
plenty of the stuff that they had on the chalk writings
was awful,
unacceptable too.
Let's do one more.
Gordon Shumway said, King of the Hill did an episode of this. Boomhauer hit on every woman in a store. All of them thought he was a creep until one gave him their number. To him, it was a successful day.
Yeah.
Just
that's the way a
swipe
lot of
right.
dudes do it, you know?
Swipe right all the time.
And you know who's going to have to be swiping right now? This woman who just divorced her husband.
Yes. A TikToker recently shared her experience of getting a nose job and promptly filing for divorce from her husband after a new boost of confidence in her looks. And, okay. I can sympathize with her for getting the rhinoplasty because she had a pretty extreme case. I cannot sympathize with her choice to divorce her husband now that she doesn't have this glaring flaw anymore. But let's take a look at her video.
Bad person.
Yeah. That is really the problem here. There's her before.
Oh, wow.
Pretty
Whoa,
extreme.
wait a minute.
Pretty extreme.
What did I say? Toucan Samantha?
Mm-hmm. This is the after. Yeah, if you're listening rather than watching, she says, I wasn't depressed, I just needed a divorce. And she also got lip filler.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that nose is big.
The three keys to happiness: nose job, lip filler, and divorce.
Look, he married you with that thing on your face. And then you leave him when you get rid of it. How horrible of a person are you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yesterday we talked about a woman who divorced her husband because she was diagnosed with cancer so that she could go after finally having an orgasm.
Yeah.
Look, dude, you need to figure out how to make your woman happy in bed.
Well, true, but she also shouldn't divorce her husband while she's in the process of like dying in order to go have sex with random strangers.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
maybe
like,
everyone has
now
some
he
blame.
doesn't have to deal now he doesn't have to deal with her dying.
There's a 20.
John Locke said, anyone else think it's weird that the devil might be playing Aslan?
Is Meryl Streep the devil?
Do people think Meryl Streep is the devil?
She might have played the devil.
What?
In the
Devil Wears Prada.
The Prada.
Devil Wears Prada.
Oh.
Devil Wears Prada, yeah.
She was playing Anna Wintour.
So the devil.
Okay.
I
Close
think that was
enough,
the
I guess. So now, this TikToker, Devin Aiken, has done an interview with New York Post about the experience of cutting away her biggest insecurity that gave her the strength to leave her unhappy marriage.
It's always about getting the strength.
Right.
To do this. To step into their confidence and finally do what they needed to do, which was be selfish.
Okay. Step into your confidence. Stand in your worth. Live, laugh, love. Are there any others?
I mean, there's an endless amount of them. They're all platitudes that mean nothing.
Yeah. She says to the Post, I feel extremely sexy. My new nose is what motivated me to choose myself and finally end my miserable marriage. This one cost her $11,000 because I assume it was quite the undertaking for plastic surgeons.
How much that divorce cost him?
Yeah, who knows if he maybe even contributed to the procedure cost before the divorce. It only took a month for her post-op to file for divorce. But they had been married for 7 years. They got married when she was 23. She is now 30 and starting her entire life over.
Ooh.
And now she sounds happier than ever. Yeah. She says, I wake up and I feel so much happier. She said that her nose job is her glow up. I get to live the rest of my life feeling like this. And I thought maybe this is a euphoria that's going to wear off over time. You're going to realize the gravity of what you did.
The self-absorbed culture that we're in says to reject the man who loved you just the way you were in search of a vain desire to love yourself more than you, I guess, already did or already should have.
Yep, we have a couple 20s, one from Pop Culture Junkie. I'm in my office at the NBC station in Houston in 1996. The most popular anchor woman in the market came in, shut the door, looked me in the eye, and asked, should I get a nose job? I'm never a loss for words, not this time. Well, I mean, what do you even say to that person? Because if you say yes, of course, she's going to be furious.
Well,
if you say no, she's going to be furious.
Is she in a position to affect his job? I mean,
who knows?
Yeah, because if she's in a position to affect your job, then you lie.
Or you say, I don't want to be a part of your decision.
Not my nose.
I would like to imagine that in that profession, they're cold, calculated, and results-based, and she's just looking for his opinion for that exact reason.
Another 20 from Havoc Axe. Any man who sees this video of this woman should know to run. Looks fade. Her ex is the lucky one.
Not to bring it up, but that other woman, the my husband's perfect, but he didn't like empty the trash.
Oh, right.
And so I'm leaving him or whatever. She had another video that I saw the other day. I think I saw it on Sarah was watching Matt Walsh's show, and he had a video that she did where she was saying, I don't make dinner for my husband, I don't do his laundry, I don't do this, I don't do that.
I remember
blah, blah, blah,
that one.
And it's like I didn't I remember that video from before, but I didn't know that was the same person.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for that man. And then she was on another podcast, and she told people like what he does for work, and he has like one of the one of the top 30 or 40 most dangerous jobs in the country. He's a lineman working on the electrical lines and stuff, and like 1 in 40 people die doing that. Like, it's super dangerous, and like just like, man, this is not doing anything for my desire to not be a misogynist.
I think that her arrangement with her husband now is the one that she claims saved their marriage. So
what's the arrangement now?
Maybe that she doesn't do any. She specifically does her and her children's laundry, specifically not his. Only his is left out of the load.
Yeah.
So her kids, she'll do it.
So much hate.
Yeah. Yeah. Jose Quintana said, happy Thursday, Overlord, Empress, and Phil. Death of a Unicorn was a lot of fun and gory. The Woman in the Yard. I plan on seeing the amateurs soon. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning will be awesome. Long live PCC.
I think I am going to go. I changed my mind about the amateur. I said I wasn't going to see it. Now I'm like redeciding once again that I am going to go see it. And then I am excited for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. It's going to be good.
I was thinking of watching Death of a Unicorn.
I always feel bad for Olivia, like if she's the one doing the laundry, because there's specific things where it's like shirts are air dried, pants dryer, specific types of shirts can be in the. I have to like. There's like a list.
You're particular.
Yeah, I'm very particular.
I
just do it.
That's
I pay the bills, so I don't feel
but
bad at all.
That's different.
I'm the one that pays all the bills, so I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She says that she was mercilessly teased for her nose. Middle school was always really tough for me. I struggled immensely because of the bullying from boys, saying that she was a witch.
I actually find it
Pinocchio.
I actually really find it hard to believe that women didn't bully her as well.
Yeah, I agree. But they would more likely do it behind her back, not to her face. This took a shot to her self-esteem. And then she says about her husband, we realized we prematurely got married and we didn't really know each other that well. We argued a lot and we just weren't aligned.
And then she grew into her confidence, or in this case, shrunk her confidence because she shrunk the nose and then got the confidence to leave him.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, she says, I had a lot of time to recover after the nose job, and it made me think I need to finally get a divorce so I can move on with my life. I am dating and having so much fun. Do what you want. This is your life. We only have one life to live.
That is the exact type of narcissistic self-involvement
Oh.
that kind of permeates our culture.
Here's the
now.
best part. She finishes it on, do whatever it takes to make yourself happy.
Of course, yeah. It's not about being kind to others. It's not about growing with another person or building a life together. It's about whatever makes you happy.
If that's your worldview, any marriage that you go into is going to end.
Yep, it's going to fail.
Because you're all about you. And getting married even is all about you. It's just a step in your journey of personal growth that never ends. And they won't be a part of it eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. Huge red flag. I also looked over her TikTok account, and all of her videos are just about the freaking nose job. Like every video. Got a nose job so my kids can have the perfect nose. Bait. Another one. When people say stop posting about my nose job, but this is my profile. Another one. You just moved into your starting over apartment at 30 and feel the best you felt in years. Totally not a cope. Another one said, I used to hate my side profile and never wanted photos or videos of it. Now that's all changed. Just wait, what was the last one?
Is there a male equivalent to this?
What it feels like when the whole internet thinks I got a nose job and left my husband. That is literally what you did.
Okay, so I guess the male equivalent like this would be like if he became extremely successful and then divorced his wife.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're broke and then you become successful and you're just like, oh, beat it, I'm gonna.
I mean, I kind of make that joke about Jeff Bezos, but I don't know who initiated the divorce in Bezos's case. I don't remember if it was Mackenzie or him.
Wow. She's also turned off her comments so that people can't criticize her. But I just sent you her explanation of her divorce and the New York Post interview that she did.
In the chat, Casey says, plastic surgery doesn't change genetics. Yes, that's why it was bait. It's designed to get you to...
Right. She's just engagement farming because she's so happy, right?
Yeah. Here we go.
Happy people do that.
Skincare with me while I talk about an article that came out on the New York Post about my life. So basically, I did an interview with the New York Post regarding my nose job and my divorce. And they completely reworded what I said about my surgery
let's get fact
and my
checked.
divorce. So I'm here to just clear the air and set some stuff straight because I do not like to be misinterpreted, and I just feel like they
she also
literally
sounds dumb.
twisted my words completely, and it was just not nice. I got a nose job in November 2020.
I have there's something about making videos while doing makeup that just odd. I hate it. From the moment it starts, I don't care. You could be saying something nice about me, I would still hate the video. If you made I'm doing my makeup video while saying nice things about Brett, I would still have an aversion to it.
2024, 4 months post-op, my nose job has literally changed my life in every aspect. I am so grateful, so thankful. I love my results. Like, I could not be happier. And I documented my whole nose job journey on social media.
My journey.
And I get tons of negative comments, tons of positive comments, and I am okay with both because...
Thank you. And I will say, I do not fault her for getting the surgery.
Yeah, of course not.
Because I can't sit here and say that I wouldn't do the same thing. I don't know what it's like to have a gigantic nose.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I put myself out there. I knew what would come with social media, and I can handle it. I'm a big girl. So I recently opened up about a divorce with my husband. I was with him for 7 years. We made the decision to split. I know that might not be a surprise to some people that know me in real life, but I finally did confirm it because I didn't think it was fair that I needed to hide this and keep this part of my life a secret. I am not going to bad talk him, but this article basically is bashing me and saying that I got a nose job and then I left my husband. And that was not the series of events that happened, and I just really want to set that record straight. We've been separated for years. We were living separate.
Wow.
I got my nose job, and basically we sold our marital home. Nose job and think, oh, I'm so hot, I'm gonna finally divorce him. I got a nose job. I was turning 30, and I just was home recovering on the couch in my bed and realized I need to finally move on with this part of my life. Like, I don't know why we're remaining married when it's not something that we want. So basically that's what happened. That this article is doing a disservice to me and just basically making me seem like a shallow person, which was not the case. Like,
wow.
I did not like my
Interesting.
nose. I was always going to get it done. I paid for it with my own money. He did not pay for it. It wasn't like, oh, I married you, got a nose job, and now I'm leaving you. That was not the case. Trust and believe me.
I don't.
So I just wanted to basically clear that up.
So you think she's making this part up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that at all.
You don't believe they were separated?
Well, I mean, I don't know about separated, but I mean, maybe
that
they were
she paid
separated.
for
But
it?
So I guess the nose job finally got her the energy to get up off the couch and sign the divorce papers.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
How long they were separated, but I mean, that's so interesting.
It is. I mean, does anybody here believe for a second that a newspaper would lie just for headlines?
Well,
no,
we all
of
know
course
that
not.
the New York Post
Yeah.
is the peak of
I mean,
journalistic
as far as
integrity.
I'm concerned, the New York Post is my favorite because they always have the headlines that are like maniac stabs woman in alley.
Yeah.
Lunatic grabs woman in
Bozo.
Yeah, they have the great descriptors.
You know, I think that it was a rage bait headline all along.
Okay, so we're giving her the benefit of the doubt here.
Well, I think it would be quite bizarre of her to get on TikTok and claim that she had been separated for years and just make that up.
Well, the most beneficial lies are the ones that just kind of slightly obfuscate the truth. So maybe she's being honest, maybe she's not. I have no idea. But I guess if I'm to take a side here, I don't find it hard to believe that the newspaper or that the journalists would fudge it to make it seem more enticing of a story than it was.
But Phil, you think she's making that part up?
Yeah.
You think they weren't separated?
Well, I'm not so sure if they were separated or not, but I do think the nose job.
She also made the video where she goes from nose job to divorce. And what am I supposed to draw
no,
from
that's
that?
the thing. She's trying to convince people that that's the way it happened. She's trying to rage bait people.
Well, yeah, exactly. So why would I give her the benefit of the doubt then, I guess? Like,
Yeah.
who am I supposed to be more upset with the rage bait from? The New York
Phil,
Post
what were
or the
you
woman?
saying?
I just don't. I think that she was the nose job was a significant factor.
Yeah, I think that she would admit that, but I think that she is portraying the whole story in a way that makes her seem like an evil villain and then getting mad at people who go with that narrative.
Is the idea that they were separated and she's like, look, I look the way I do. I'm not confident in what I look like. I'm not going to sign the divorce papers because maybe we'll get back together. But then when she gets the nose job, now she's like, looking how I look now. I don't need that to fall back on. I can sign the divorce papers now.
Like her identity of being with him was wrapped up in how she looked, and then she looked a different way, and she didn't have to be connected to him anymore or something.
See, if this was a romantic comedy, she would end up back with him at the end because she'll have the ability to know that he was the only one who loved her before she looked different.
In the romantic comedy, he becomes a plastic surgeon.
And then undoes the nose job and gives her old nose back.
And then she becomes addicted to plastic surgery. And then, okay, we'll need to get like writing on a script. We'll like workshop that.
I think she just realized, I think she got the nose job. She realized she's just got the options for other things now. And it's like, okay, I can sign the divorce papers now.
But it's not the story that she put out there. She put out a story that she's an evil bitch. And then she played the victim when people believed her.
Yep.
Funny that.
Funny that.
Let's
All right,
finish up.
let's do super chats.
JJ said, white women are the most privileged in America. I mean, that's not true. You have to be black. White people aren't treated well. White people are actually objectively discriminated against in America. Doll Click said, Diddy violated me like how Mary violated my soul.
Doll Click, it's been so long since I've seen you.
What is going on in the chat today?
The chat is on one
Like,
today.
what is going on? I don't like the energy. Brian Bledsoe said, I've catcalled once a long time ago, and it was so cringe, I've never done it again.
He did it and immediately, like, shrunk.
See, but when the guy catcalls, you don't know what's going on in his mind. Is he cringing at himself? Does he think that's cool and attractive? Like,
he tried it and immediately regretted it.
It's so puzzling to me.
He realized that he couldn't pull it off.
Shane H. Wilder said Britney Spears proving the camera on an iPhone 3GS still works and is only slightly lower quality than a potato.
Look, I imagine that was like an iPhone 4.
Yeah, you know what? I wish that I could use an old iPhone. I would if I could. If the operating system weren't stacked against you, then I really would have one of those tiny brick ones, and I would love it more than anything, but I can't. Apple sabotages their old products.
Yep. I loved my iPhone 5.
Havoc Axe said, Old Nose back. Is he a spaceball? What?
The movie Spaceballs?
Oh, yeah, because the princess got a nose job. The Druish princess.
Yeah. Oh, I don't, it's been so long since I watched the movie. I don't remember that.
Rick Moranis should come back.
Rick Moranis is great.
Yes.
Pop Culture Junkie said, I remember from my misspent youth traveling midway shows like Royal American shows, they annually visited my hometown of Moline, Illinois with freak acts, grifting carnies, and fairground strippers.
Okay.
So this is a real thing. They have strippers at carnivals.
There was a photo that was circulating of like Haley Steinfeld at like some Halloween party with people from like an act like that. And there was a person with hair all over his face, and it made him look like he was wearing blackface.
I saw that. I didn't even know that was a condition.
Yeah.
But I looked it up. It's real.
You should watch the episode Humbug from the X-Files if you want to watch something that's actually a heartwarming dive into those types of things. In a way, heartwarming.
Dull and Tired said, W Weary Traveler, the noticing is here. Okay. Just in my head, it's like, the noticing is here. And you have like really big headgear on your teeth. Okay.
It's not the point of this show.
That is not the point of the show.
No.
That's not the point of the show.
Greg Duvier said, put an Ian Crossland on. Let's go. Save the Gongo.
That was easier when we were at the old, when we were at the castle.
That's
it was
true.
easier to...
He's far away now.
Yeah.
Well, we will eventually, I'm sure. Shane H. Wilder said, Mickey looks like an overweight Madonna, so an old butch lesbian. You would think JoJo and him would get along. Yeah, he could turn JoJo straight. I kind of believe him now.
Maybe JoJo will turn him into a lesbian.
Yeah. Not that Jon Stewart said Mickey Rourke was a heartthrob in the 80s and 90s. Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Wait, let me look up what he looked like in the 90s. Let me see.
You might want to go back to the 80s.
The 80s? Okay, he had already not... He had his twink death before the 90s.
Twink death.
High Voltage 75 says the point of the show is to torture us with annoying TikTok bitches.
Okay, I wouldn't call him a heartthrob at any age, but definitely one of the worst twink deaths I've ever seen. Okay, Weary Traveler said, the reason why I bring it up on this show is that Tim will not address it on IRL. I was hoping the three of you would not put money over morals.
Here's the thing,
ridiculous.
though. Tim isn't here, so
what
he
are we
can't
supposed to
address
do?
it here.
And furthermore, like, you're still missing, like, the show is about the news of the day. So it's like, why do you want to talk about the USS Liberty, which was like, 40 years ago, when it's a current events show?
Maybe what you can do is you can suggest to him that they do a culture war episode on something like this.
Yeah.
It actually feels like a relevant issue, like not relevant, but like it's something that they could discuss in the culture war.
Yeah, I mean the dude that we had on what day was it? I think 2 days ago. I forget
Cam
his name.
Higbee, he's doing a debate with Phil
Yeah.
Turney about the USS Liberty.
Like, you can watch
on
that.
April 20th.
You can watch that. I mean, it's gonna be on the internet. It's not like there's a lack of this content out there.
It's just like, do you expect us to deliver messages to Tim on your behalf?
Yes,
because
they
that's
do.
absolutely ridiculous.
People send me messages, direct messages on Twitter, be like, "Tell Tim this.
No.
Get Tim to do that."
The answer is no, and I don't really understand what switch flipped for you, Weird Traveler, because you've always been so polite and not demanding like this. Havoc Axe, you're acting like your mother. Havoc Axe said $900. Can I choose a different singer? Nope, it has to be JoJo. It'll prove worth it. Alvin McGoth said we need to start bullying the figs again. Oh, the fruits. I didn't know that they needed bullying. James Coteritis said, Phil, hope is or irreversible and why stay metal?
I don't know. Hope is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd go with Hope is because the end part where it's Hope is the fifth that he does is it's always stuck in my head. So maybe I'll go with Hope is. But they're both great songs. Like it's like they're both such awesome metalcore songs. So.
Shane H. Wilder said JoJo's voice makes Bob Dylan sound like Michael Bublé.
There is no way to make Bob Dylan sound like Michael Bublé.
Can you please do a cover of Karma's a Bitch by Bob Dylan?
No.
Can you do an impression of Bob Dylan cover?
Why would I put anybody? First of all, no, I can't. And second of all, Bob Dylan is awful. I will never do a cover of Bob Dylan.
Want an AI cover of Karma by Kanye West.
I would look. The only way you could do this is if you got Oliver Anthony to do Bob Dylan covers.
He would do that. Gordon Shumway said Tim only pretends not to care about the Gongo. Secretly, he runs Mossad ops responsible for the femigenocide. Total psyop.
I believe that.
Facts. Few know this. Red Snow said, if we officially save the Gongo, do we get a trophy?
No, you get...
You get a mud cookie.
No, you get like a bank account in a foreign country and...
You get a free trip to North Korea.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Junkie said sometimes exceptional entertainment with a couple of people talking is defined by what they don't talk about. You folks are my favorite example. Well, thank you. At least some people appreciate us.
It is funny sometimes Tim will consider covering topics on IRL that are like in our lane, and it's always like the last topic of the night, and they never get to it.
No, they never do.
It's okay.
The other night, it was China allegedly banning imported films.
See, I prefer that happened because then I feel like pressured to know a lot about it, and then my mind goes blank.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then they turn to you, and you're like, crap. Like that happened.
Like suddenly, I need to be an expert on the CCP.
That happened
the Chinese run box office.
That happened when they're like, come on and talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and I'm like, bro, it's been going on for like months. I forgot everything already.
It was a good time though.
You know, at least you look at the bright side. When you guys are in third chair, at least you're not like your job isn't to like fill in dead space. So that way, when everyone stops talking,
I mean, I consider that.
Oh, geez, I gotta come up with something.
Well,
and
every time that
I
happens, I should just say USS Liberty.
Yeah. I do even consider that third chair's job too. Like, like if you work there, then it's like you know. Plus, I just hate dead air, so I would prefer to avoid it at all.
Doing stuff here.
So. Now, when it gets later in the night, there are definitely times where, like, if they get into geopolitics, I'm like, let the dead air be, let the dead air reign. I don't care.
No way. Oh, well, I mean, maybe you may feel that way, but I'll get in trouble for that.
But then
he'll shoot me dirty looks.
But then, like Mary said, and I'll just say USS Liberty.
Yeah, easy way to get people talking.
Let's talk about a 40-year-old international incident.
Pop Culture Junkie said sometimes. Oh, I already read that one. Duh. John Locke.
Maybe what we'll do is like, have you seen whatever the most recent 9/11 meme is? That's what I'll use to fill in dead air. Like whatever the most recent offensive 9/11 video I've seen on Instagram.
Okay.
There, another incident that's old and not recent.
Fair enough. Yeah. Alvin McGoth said that nose is about to make weary traveler flip his lid. Sure is. We have a 20 from Jose Quintana.
Oy vey.
Which is worse, catcalling women or women silently flirting with guys while with their man as they walk by them? The silent look and smile towards a stranger as you are strolling in public. That is all in your imagination, big guy. It is completely normal to make eye contact with strangers once in a while without being creepy or flirting with them and smiling even. That is not
Remember,
flirting.
guys, every smile is not flirting.
Yeah.
Or not every smile is flirting.
Yeah, when I look people in the eye, it's actually a threat assessment. So you've got the wrong idea, buddy. James Codoridis said, when can we expect an Alex Jones guest spot on PCC? I know he doesn't like crisis actors, but I mean, it's possible.
I would love that.
Yeah. Next time I see him, I'll ask. JJ said, would be awesome to see a Mary Brett Cooper collab. People have been saying this. I've been hearing this word on the street is that people want a collab. High Voltage 75 said, Phil, in your opinion, is it appropriate for an adult to eat snacks on a short plane ride, say, under 2 hours?
So I personally don't have any problem with that at all.
We missed. We did miss a super chat from Pat the Plumber. He said we missed one. Get Tim to buy a JoJo package for Alex Stein.
For some
That's a
reason,
great idea.
That didn't end up on my
absolutely
spreadsheet.
great idea.
Yeah, I think this person brought up the snacks because I'm against eating the pretzels or the cookies
And then she
or whatever
says
they're
it in
giving you.
a derisive voice.
Yes, because you know what? You can't sit there for 2 hours without gorging some more food into your body. I mean, really? Like, grow up. It's not kindergarten. We don't have snack time with animal crackers and apple juice in a Dixie cup. Grow up. You know, have some coffee, have some water.
Guys,
chill out.
Snack whatever you want.
You don't need to be
Whatever
eating all
you
the
want,
time.
Whatever you want, gents, snack to your heart's content. Don't let Mary tell you you can't.
This is a time when
whatever.
Mary is actually wrong. There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with having a snack.
What did you
In
say
fact,
before? Can I get some pretzels?
And I would even say it's not. It's not
maybe
wrong
a cookie.
to bring McDonald's from the airport, from the gate onto the airplane either. If you
Okay,
wanna do that,
that's
go ahead and do
even
it.
more acceptable than
Really?
sitting there on the plane and they come around with a cart and they're like, do you want a cookie or do you want pretzels? And you be like, can I have both?
Gentlemen, take both. And
Grow
then
up!
Take both and tell Mary no.
You're
okay. You
You're
can have your snacks.
completely ridiculous, Mary.
Whatever. I don't have time for this.
No one does.
Shane H. Wilder said, damn, that one chick's husband was a lineman. He does a tough job. I never met my maternal grandpa, but because he was a lineman and got electrocuted.
Dang.
High risk job,
Yeah.
for sure. Pop Culture Junkie said, regarding the nose story, I eventually said no. She didn't need one, just a brief bout of insecurity. She never got one. She was gorgeous. Well, if she was a news anchor, she probably already was blessed with good looks anyway, so
Yeah.
she was just overanalyzing her
They
face.
don't put like broadly ugly people on the TV very much. You see
They
like
don't tend
you'll
to.
see like people that are like normal looking for on TV, and then you see them walking around in real life, and you're like, wow, that is an attractive person.
Yeah, but you don't even notice it when it's 2 dimensions and
The
it's
on
the Weather Channel
The
or whatever.
weather anchors in Minnesota were there for like 40 years, and they all just morphed into like their faces got more and more stretched as time went on.
Rough.
Dave Dahl and
It looks like it hurts.
Yeah, like in all the time we would see them, and I'd be like, wow,
They
that
just
guy
won't give up their spot.
No, they won't. That's the boomers' fault, man.
Yeah.
Like there's some young hotshot weatherman looking to take the reins, and he's like, not on my watch. I'm just gonna keep getting plastic surgery until I die.
Right. The weather reporters in like South America are
Ooh,
absolute
yeah.
sex pots
Yeah.
for no reason.
Well, I mean, because people want to look at attractive people on TV.
Well, we don't have BBL news anchors in U.S.
I mean,
That's
the
not a
U.S.
thing.
is like the U.S. stopped worrying about attractive when the left became in charge.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
gave up
Well,
on
look,
that.
the the ugly fat people that Calvin Klein was using to model their underwear, that was the apex of leftist control over society.
Yeah,
over
the
imagery.
trans campaign.
When it was ugly, fat, unattractive people that were like just
pregnant man,
completely horrible, wearing underwear. That was the peak of inclusivity. That's peak leftism. And after that, there's been since then there has been actually a clawing back of control over aesthetics by the right.
I do miss Brett Summer though.
Who?
Every once in a while, I think about Brett Summer.
Who's Brett Summer?
Last summer.
You don't remember
Oh,
Brett
last
Summer?
summer. No.
I mean, it was nostalgic for me. Deep South EDC said, "Don't Timcast my PCC. Keep having Phil on though." Yeah, don't you worry about that. We're not going to start talking about politics on this show. Not in the cards. Shane H. Wilder said, "Oh, you sweet summer child. They don't have to make you sound shallow. You just have to open your mouth." I mean, I'm sure she's a shallow person regardless, but if the story isn't what it appeared to be originally, you know, fine. I'm willing to admit that I bought in too easily. Weary Traveler said, "And who promotes white discrimination?"
I mean, look, man, I've heard a lot of wealthy white women that talk about that kind of stuff a lot.
That was what they were talking about earlier when they said white women are the most privileged in America. The wealthy white woman who probably controls most of your DEI department. It's not who you think it is. It's white women in the DEI department.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, "IRL chat is leaking into PCC.
Yeah.
I is a scared." I am too. Is it because we're going on IRL more often lately?
No, there's
It's
a
like
lot
poisoning
of,
the well.
The internet has become a flurry of specifically X, but because of the whole, like when Tim went to meet with Netanyahu,
Right.
and people are just like, "Oh, he had a secret meeting with the Jew king." It's like, no, it wasn't.
Well, that's why
that
they
secret.
probably should have filmed it. I think it was a bad move PR-wise for them to keep it private, because then you can just make up whatever idea in your mind you want about what happened.
Yeah.
Not that John Stewart said, "This is what happens when Brett and Mary go on IRL." I hope it's not our fault.
I don't think so. I
Shane
think it's
H.
because of
Wilder. Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
Gordon Shumway said, "Brett, I think you could mimic Dylan. Just record that insufferable meow from Mocha with the backing out-of-tune bagpipes. It could be done."
There's a circle of hell that's Bob Dylan with Mocha backing.
No, it's Bob Dylan out-of-tune bagpipes and then Mocha going like,
Oh my god, it was so bad last night. So what it is like,
this is just ruining your life.
There will be times where you're watching a show and there's a dramatic moment where characters are talking and then nobody's talking because it's supposed to emphasize something. And then just as it's hitting its most dramatic point, you hear from the other room.
Like a pterodactyl.
And I'm just like,
oh, good Lord.
And then
Olivia, it's not even throwing up.
Olivia
That's just what it sounds
puts
like.
her hand on my arm. Don't yell at the cat, Brett.
Thank you.
Don't yell at the cat.
We wouldn't be here without Weary Traveler.
We would not.
Not that John Stewart.
Olivia's in the chat, says we just got back from the vet. She actually did just send me a text that said that Mocha's had blood work done and she's doing well. I'm assuming that the blood work hasn't come in yet. Did you ask the vets if they can fix her meow? We'll talk about it when I get home.
They can remove vocal cords. That's a thing. Not that John Stewart said you can't sit through a 2-hour movie without eating smuggled snacks. Oh, okay. So that's different because when I do that at the movie theater, I haven't eaten in a full day. I mean 24 hours.
What if you haven't eaten in a full day when you get on the plane? Then are the pretzels okay? The pretzels?
The pretzels? Are the pretzels okay?
Yeah.
Are they okay? No. No, they're not okay.
She wants you to starve,
it's wrong.
Gentlemen. She wants you to starve.
No, everyone really should be hungry more often. That is a belief of mine.
Okay.
In the West, okay, we could do with a little bit more deprivation. JJ said, women are the biggest beneficiaries in today's society, from the courts to workplace, everywhere in between. White women tend to benefit the most from it. And why is that? I don't know. Why would white women specifically benefit the most over non-white women?
Because it's considered overall in general, because they have the privilege of being white, but also the ability to say that they're being discriminated against by being women.
There's no privilege in being white in this country. There is an opposite of privilege in being white in this country.
I don't know if that's necessarily
objectively
true
you're discriminated against.
for white women.
Yeah, well, I mean now, but
all white people are discriminated against in this country.
Historically is what they're talking about.
I mean, this is present tense right here.
Yeah.
This is not talking about the past. So.
They'll say historically in just a minute.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yorishima Otaru said Chad snack eater versus virgin stomach rumbler. I hate all of you. I have had
Bingo.
it. I have had it. Value in You said, may we need a puetzo? No, I don't need a puetzo.
I think you should tweet Chad Snack Eater versus Virgin. I kind of want to.
Chad Snack.
Are you gonna tweet it?
I mean, it would make more sense if you did it, but yeah.
No, because I don't agree with that. I think that Chad is stomach rumbler. So you know, if you want to tweet that, go ahead. Omega Red Fan said, hey Napoleon, give me some of your tater tots. No, go find your own.
Gosh.
Eat the food. God, Tina, eat the food. Red Snow said, how would the Gonganese survive without pretzels? Okay, they're allowed to have them because that's the only food they have. But, I mean, Americans just eat non-stop.
Maybe we should see if we can get Mr. Beast to help the Gonga.
Eating 3 full-size meals a day in American portion sizes is a recipe for morbid obesity. And they don't just eat those meals. They eat all in between the meals. So, yeah, you should stop. Stop eating. High Polter 75 said, but Maui, I need my pretzels and chalky snacky poos. Too bad!
Mary says anything you enjoy is bad.
I'm going to start walking around with a spray bottle, just spray you.
Side note, the song Snacky Poo by Limp Bizkit is badass.
Thank you for the side note. Pop Culture Junkie said there was a plastic surgeon that made more than half of his income making female anchors in the top 5 markets looking young.
Yeah, I believe that.
With
He's
facelifts.
doing God's work.
Pop Culture Junkie said, fix a cat's meow. What's that?
Well, you've obviously never heard
Deleting
Mioka.
it. Deleting it from existence.
The best thing possible. Well, you know what I would do is I would get Mocha some type of like voice recorder that she can wear around her neck, and whenever she meows, it translates it into a more palatable sound.
Well, they're gonna use AI to let cats speak English eventually, right?
No, the hell they're not.
When Toast meows, when Chloe meows, they're always so gentle and kind sounding, and then Mocha's just sounds like she's vomiting.
What part of you doesn't think that if a cat were to be able to articulate in English, it would not just be an endless barrage of insults and swears?
You know, cats are mean to you because you're the problem, Phil.
That's why I don't have cats around.
Okay, as long as you're willing to admit that it's your fault. Because cats naturally don't just attack people. It's only because of your behavior, is what I'm trying to say. Usually, people who say that they hate cats, they treat cats like dogs, and that's the root of the problem. You go up to it expecting it to be a dog, and it's not a dog.
No, you don't touch cats.
What do you mean? Cats are very friendly with me. Why is that?
Cats are little furry bags full of pins, needles, and knives.
Why would cats be nice to me and not you then? What?
I didn't say that they're not nice to me. I just don't like them.
Okay.
They're murderers.
They are murderers?
Have you ever seen a cat play with a mouse?
Yeah, it's awesome. What do you mean?
That's
what they're programmed to do.
Well, I mean,
they're helping you.
Bucko used to just come back with mice all the time.
Yeah.
And like drop it at your feet.
Mouse heads.
He was a good cat.
Be like, look at what I did for
chipmunks
you.
and stuff. No.
High Voltage 75 said some prefer exercise over starvation, Mary. Crazy, I know. I think that you shouldn't have a snack every 2 hours. I'm not saying you need to starve. I'm saying you don't need to constantly eat.
I am not
Very basic.
I'm not going to interject here.
Okay. Joe T said, Phil, will you sing us a Frasier outro, tossed salads and scrambled eggs?
No, and I thought you were going somewhere totally different with that first with that whole toss salad thing.
No, not that. Just that is one of my comfort songs and comfort shows, though. I love Frasier. Joe T said, Weary Traveler said, back to regular scheduled programming tomorrow.
I love the idea that it was just
one day, just testing the waters. Yeah. Okay. Red Snow said, this has turned into Puetzel culture crisis. It's culture crisis.
It's also, you do this when you do it.
It's culture crisis.
Puetzel?
Puetzel culture crisis. Gordon Shumway said, I like how Bill Burr called out white women on an SNL monologue. They completely took over the BLM movement and made it all about them. It's funny because it's true. Any chance to be the victim. Okay, this is the thing. People make fun of white women because it's a safe way to make fun of women. And I just think if you want to make fun of women, do it with your whole chest. I mean, really, say what you want to say about women without putting the qualifier in front of it so that it's acceptable to woke people.
I do
You're
love
embarrassing.
The video of the woman who, like with the Macklemore song, that video does still live on forever with the BLM face paint.
And by the way, Bill Burr is married to a black woman, so I can see he might have mixed motivations for what he's saying. Pop Culture Junkie said, proud I get a second bag of pretzels on Southwest.
Let's go.
Not one, but two.
He goes back when they're coming to collect the trash. He's like, can I have one for the road?
This is outrageous.
Can I have one for the skies?
Like, I will happily take some sparkling water on the plane, but pretzels, never do.
I'm gonna just eat so many pretzels the next time I fly.
Just out of spite.
I'm gonna bring my own bag of pretzels so that it's like double the size.
Oh yeah, a family size.
Yep.
Check it.
Yep.
Red Snow said, cats are haters. Mary is a hater. Game recognized game. That's true. I kind of agree with that.
Cats are haters.
Well, they're also very, stately and subdued and all about themselves. I appreciate that about them. Shane H. Wilder said, you missed my last chat pertaining to Brett.
Yeah, he says,
a lot of them aren't showing up, I guess.
Says, Brett, Bob Dylan with Mocha backing. You done effed up, buddy. Sorry, not sorry.
It's gonna happen.
You can't make me listen to it, bro.
The Bob Dylan Mocha collab isn't real and it can't hurt you, Brett.
It's so gonna be real and it can hurt me.
Okay, I don't know.
One more here from Abstract Cats Official, TSG. Best guitarist, lead singer, Tommy Victor of Prong. Is this a question to Phil?
If that's a statement, that's a statement.
Yeah.
Tommy's a nice guy, but I don't know about best guitar player.
He also said, I'm a cat lover, but Phil is right. LOL. Nah.
It's true.
Wrong. They're lovely.
All right. Well, that was a weird episode.
It certainly was.
That was
but I think that we did a good job keeping it together.
Weary Traveler sent another super chat that says, Weary Traveler crashed the system, clown face emoji.
You going Joker mode, bro?
And one more from Pop Culture Junkie says, if they served small bags of Cheetos on Southwest, I would get 3.
You know what's awesome? The jalapeno Cheetos.
I've never
I'm
had that.
generally anti-Cheetos. And then Sarah was like, you need to try these. They're badass. And I'm like, all right, I'll try them. And I was resistant at first, but then I was like, all right, I'll try them fine. And I was like, man, I was wrong. Those things are BA.
Love some dill pickle flavored chips.
I love any vinegar flavored stuff.
Same.
I love the street corn flavored Cheetos that came out last year. They're very good.
High Voltage 75 said, you haven't found the right cat yet, Phil. Like Mary hasn't found the right dog? No. Okay. Dogs are a problem. I feel more animosity toward dogs than Phil feels toward cats. I can't stand them. I would never live with one. I don't want any part of that.
Plus, Mary says they don't have souls, so.
Well, cats don't have souls either. It's okay. Robert said pretzels are the gateway to gluttony. They make you hungrier.
I remember when I was at
pretzels is a dry ass treat.
The last time I was like at the doctor and we were talking about like foods to fill you up like at work that are not awful for you, and they were like peanuts are good, like, you know, high protein, good for you. I'm like, what about pretzels? And they're like, peanuts would be better.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, oh, I'll just tag Mary, Olivia, and Phil. They'll torture you with it. Laughs maniacally.
You can't make me listen to it.
It's happening.
I will plug my one good ear and just pretend like nothing's happening.
There's no stopping it. Red Snow said, pretty sure Space King invented pretzels for Gonganese. Okay, that's enough about pretzels. Not that Jon Stewart said Lay's has a fried green tomatoes flavored chips.
They be doing
Pretty
too
good.
much with the chip flavors these days. Have
I
you
want
seen
that.
I want the Pringles aisle is like a mad scientist wet dream these days. There's so much to choose from.
The GMOs go crazy.
Yep.
Gordon Shumway said flaming Cheetos with lime are the best.
Okay.
Haven't tried them. Weary Traveler said Corn Pop and Weary Traveler as guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We'll email you any minute.
We'll do our episode on the USS Liberty.
Ulvin McGoth said vinegar is the piss kink of chip flavors. Why is the chat so out of pocket today? I don't understand. What is happening?
Chad Pretzel.
What got in the water?
Chad Pretzel Eater versus, what was it? Virgin Stomach Rumbler.
Urashima Otaru said, I see Mary being dragged around by a St. Bernard. It's never going to happen.
Okay.
Simply never.
Maybe we'll get to a fifth crisis party before the outros today, guys. But before we go, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. And after an episode like today, why wouldn't you subscribe? Phil, where can they find you?
You can check me out on X. I am Phil That Remains. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Twitter. The band is All That Remains. New record dropped on January 31st. You can check it out on all of the streaming platforms as well as YouTube. And don't forget, the left lane is for crime.
I ended the poll. 70% of you say that you have not
Okay.
catcalled a woman.
That's an interesting split. Red Snow said, wait, pretzel flavored Pringles for the Gongo.
Only on flights to the Gongo.
Right. Okay. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
You absolutely should do that on IRL as well. I don't know. That's why I gave you a dirty look the other day.
Okay, I will. I promise. Weary Traveler said, let me FaceTime. No.
No.
Guys, if you want to follow me, Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than watch the show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That also helps. Remember, I do want you all to like the episode. Like it, because it tells the algorithm that you enjoy this content. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. There's one more there, Mary.
One more. I already have my headphones off. I'm halfway out the door. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said the two worst chips I tried were birthday cake and biscuits and gravy. I still have nightmares.
They both sound horrible.
That sounds gross.
That sounds unbelievably disgusting. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, maybe somebody will get us to that fifth crisis party as we're on the way out, but we will see you guys all tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.